It's Raw, come on!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Creative Wrestling. Welcome back to yet another episode of Pro-Wrasslin Rants and Reviews. This time around, we are talking a topic that everybody talks about every single damn week. And that being, why, oh why, is Monday Night Raw oh so terrible? A lot of people out there say one of the reasons is because it's too long, you know, it's 3 hours is too long to try and fill up that space, and I don't fully agree with that. That's just because I kind of feel like 3 hours can be damn entertaining. Hell, we've seen a 4-hour pay-per-view before that's been a hell of a damn good. And I know you might say, but that's a pay-per-view, it's different from a show. But actually, a show can be very much like a pay-per-view in regards to the format. It just needs to be very well done. So I don't entirely agree with you on the 3-hour thing. I do agree to the extent that, you know, watching it on a weekly basis can be a bit tiring. You know, but a part of me also feels like that's still down to the nitty-gritty of, you know, what is the product giving us? Because ultimately, the writing team is absolute trash, and I don't want to put the entire blame on the writing team. Sometimes they're only given so much. Sometimes they're only limited to so much that they can do on the show. I don't know the exact process, but that's why I don't want to entirely put the blame on creative itself, even though creative used to be tremendously better. But at the same time, like 10 years ago, when you compare 10 years ago to now, 10 years ago there was so much more freedom when it came to creative. Even the superstars themselves, they would still have been given a script or a directive of where to go with the promo, but they would still be able to make it their own. You don't get that anymore, at least not on Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw always feels heavily scripted, feels heavily forced, and that, I think, is one of the problems digging down deep as to what makes Raw so bad. Raw used to be such a huge staple to watch on a Monday night, used to be so awesome to watch on a Monday night, and now it's just become so much trash because of how limited it is, how few things there are to go. It's just not entertaining. Promos go on for way too long. Matches are just rendered useless. Superstars, oh please, the superstars, you have such a massive roster and you are using so few of them. We should not be having Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the 575th freaking time in a row. What is your problem, WWE Raw? It's just thinking of that in itself, how many repetitive matches we get week after week after week. We just get the same thing over and over again, and I think that's what ultimately frustrates people as well, is the repetitiveness of the show. It's like, you could miss a week and you wouldn't have missed anything. You come to a pay-per-view, it's like, oh hey, I didn't actually miss anything from Raw. SmackDown side maybe, but Raw not so much. What I like about SmackDown is that they're constantly reshuffling their roster. They're constantly giving superstars a chance to shine, even if it's just for 1 week. I mean, like, look at guys like Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger has had a few opportunities to just have a match. He may not have been heavily involved in a storyline, but hell, he's been used effectively. He's been allowed to shine in matches. He's been allowed to showcase what he's actually made of. And he's ultimately been like in the middle. It may just be enhancement for a rivalry, but hell, it's worked. It keeps it fresh. What does Raw do? It's the same thing each and every week. We had weeks and weeks of various matchups of between just Braun, when we had Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre against The Shield. We had various matchups. Oh, Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus Roman. Instead of doing things like, hey, The Shield versus another 3-man team. You know, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre against another 3-man team. even if it's just flipping enhancement talent. Like, it's stuff like that that really annoys people, and stuff like that I have given up on Raw right now. Ever since Brock Lesnar reclaimed his Universal Championship, I have stopped watching Monday Night Raw, because it was that and hit the final nail in the coffin that made me say, hey, do you know what? Until Brock actually drops the title again, I am not watching this. I don't care whether it's a lead up to to Royal Rumble, to Elimination Chamber, to WrestleMania. I don't care what pay-per-view it's building up to. I am not watching Raw until Brock Lesnar drops the damn title, because it's about damn time. I'm sick and tired of that. I'm ready for somebody like Drew McIntyre to hold the Universal title, which is much, much deserved. Wow. And about the only thing I'm missing from Raw right now is being able to see some of my favorites, like Elias, as you can see, wearing the Walk with Elias t-shirt right now, because he is my boy. He has come so far on the main roster in such a short period of time. He is one of those guys that has gotten himself over. It's not creative who got him over. No, he himself was given something and he made it work. He was told to do something and he was like, yeah, okay, I will do that, but I'm going to do it my way. And that is exactly what he has done. He has gotten himself over that way. Baron Corbin as well. So underrated by a lot of people. A lot of people don't see much in him, but he's for a very, very long time, since his NXT days where he would be squashing superstars, I was like fully behind him. I saw a superstar in him, and he still is that superstar. He has taken the general manager role on Raw, and he's taken it with full speed, and he's used it to his absolute best. I'm loving those guys. Those are the only guys I'm really absolutely missing about Raw right now. But otherwise, on a whole, I'm not missing anything. Raw shouldn't be as bad as it is. If you just reshuffled your roster once a month, just use a different superstar every single week. Just keep using different superstars. Even with just using for many feuds. Just make mini rivalries on a show that doesn't have to culminate at a pay-per-view. And that's, I think, one of the problems as well, is that the writing at the moment is always building towards a pay-per-view. There's no rivalries that end up ending on a show, on Raw. It just always culminates at a pay-per-view, and it just doesn't make sense. And there's always, every week, it's the same thing. Hey, this superstar gets a win over that superstar. Now that superstar gets a win over this superstar. It's just so repetitive, and does not need to happen that way. Raw, if you want tips, watch SmackDown Live. They're consistently consistent. They're always doing their best. They're always putting on a damn good show. And there's no reason you couldn't be at the same level as SmackDown Live. There's absolutely no reason at all. Realistically, if you want to really be the A show, then prove it. Actually put on an A show, an A grade show, because that rarely happens. It rarely happens. And I'm sick and tired of it. And I know a lot of people are sick and tired of it as well. So why is Raw so bad? It's inconsistent. It doesn't use its roster to full effect. Its build is just trash. The rivalries are just boring. The storytelling is boring. And people are sick and tired of seeing the same damn thing over and over and over and over again. And that's that, folks. This has been one hell of a rant for me. Potentially one of the biggest rants I've had to date. And I hope that you've enjoyed it. What do you think of Monday Night Raw? Do you think it's worth a watch every single week? Do you think it's actually doing something right? Do you think it's doing something wrong? What do you think it should improve in? What do you think is its biggest problem? let me know in the comments, please. And if you have enjoyed this rant, then please give this video a like, give it a share, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell so you do not miss a single video that I post. But folks, that's all we have for now. Until then, until the next video, keep tight, keep well, keep fighting the big fight, and I'll see you next time.